Hey guys, welcome back, and another League of Inches video, but this time it's with a twist, and I'm just going to introduce a new segment I'm going to start doing. And as everyone knows, I'm a massive Para fan myself, one of the League of Inches boys, and I want to jump on and each week just do a preview of the round that was from my angle, and a bit of a round two preview, or the next round preview as well. So obviously last week we versed the Broncos. For mine, probably the worst first half performance I've seen from our boys for a good 2 years. I was at the game myself. I was watching it, and it was diabolical. There was no respect for the ball. It seemed like the boys didn't want to be there. They thought that they'd rock up and play a Broncos team that they've obviously got the wood over in recent years, and it would just happen. So they were trying to score for almost every set. They thought they could just roll in tries, and so the Broncos, credit, not here to give them too much in these videos, but they were there to play, and we didn't respect that. And at half-time, 16-0. There was also, probably lucky it was 16-0. There was a couple of chances that the Broncos didn't take, and they obviously started to lose a couple of key players around that sort of time and into the early second half, which did help us. But for mine, there was the Sean Lane and the Dylan Brown combination. I don't want to pick out too many individual players and be too negative, but for mine, that combination really needs some more work. They didn't click at all, which is surprising because they played all last year together. But a lot of errors between both of them. I think between both of them, they come up with about 6 or 7 errors in that first half, and a lot of forced, silly plays. A lot of the goes to the line and pass when it really wasn't on, and the reaction, because I was at the game watching the reactions for both of them to mistakes, I would have liked to see a little bit more. I would have liked to have seen a bit more, oh, damn it, I've made that mistake. I'm going to make it up to you boys. It was sort of a just play on type thing, which for mine, I didn't really like. I guess a positive in this game was, the first one I liked afterwards. I've heard a couple of interviews and the players have talked about the fact that Brad Arthur didn't go in and blast him. It was a more of a, all right, let's plan of how we get back into this and what we have to do to get back into the game. And I really like that. I like the fact that the team is now at a stage where Brad Arthur's got them to where they can actually have a civilised, normal chat instead of going in there and blasting, because there's only so many blasts a year a coach can really do to get the best out of their team, and you don't want that being in round one. So I think that's a real positive moving forward for this team this year, is that they can actually have open chats and work out ways to overcome what was a diabolical first half. And they've obviously come out in the second half with a few other things helped us, but they've come out and they've taken over and decided to that they wanted to win the game and be the top 14 that they can be this year in 2021. The final thought I want to just say on this game was a couple of shout outs to some players, Junior Paul and Reid Money. For mine, without these two players, we don't turn it around. They were crucial in that turnover, especially in the second half. Their performance was huge, and a lot of people question Reid, and they question if he's a dummy half we need. I think this performance shows exactly why he is, and we need to stay with him for years to come, and he's someone we can really build this club towards. And Junior was Junior, 100th game Parramatta. He was massive, especially his second stint. His second stint was massive. Now, I'm missing a player, and I've got to confess, a man crush for this bloke. I loved him on the weekend, and my missus just honestly, that by the end of it, just said, can you please stop it? You're fantasising about him too much. But his performance on the weekend, I'm talking about Isaiah Papali'i, the best club debut I've seen an individual have for, I don't know, for quite some time. It was probably, the last one was probably Jared Haynes' debut. He was quite good, and everyone can remember his debut, but that's dating back 10 plus years ago now. So it was a huge game off the bench. He's really pushed his case for mine for starting berth over the next couple of weeks. Credit where credit's due, and massive hats off to Papali'i, and I'm a huge fan of what he's done, and I think he's just going to get better, which for us, I think it's a great thing for Parramatta, a guy that we've been able to just get from out of nowhere, basically. It didn't sound like any club was interested in him, and those sorts of performances are what we need, especially off the bench, and to create that change that we've seen happen was off the back of, I think he was the focal point, and for my man of the match for last week. Now, round 2, let's move forward to round 2. We've got the Melbourne Storm, and fair to say it is our bogey side. I think at full strength, both teams, Storm have always seemed to get the wood over us and seem to beat us in a lot of the crucial games, like your finals games and things like that. And I think really need to take this personal, this clash over the years, for the recent team anyway. We've seen that there's been some really harsh games where like last year's finals game, where we were in that and I was there once again and we were winning that, and a couple of things didn't go our way and we sort of just kicked the toys out of the cod and went from there. Now, Niokora is back in this team, massive inclusion off the bench. He provides, very similar to Papali'i, he's go forward, and what he brings off the bench is massive, and if it wasn't for Papali'i, we would have missed that last week, so I'm really, really happy to have him back. For mine, controversial, and I'm happy to have comments come my way down below in the comment box, but Shaun Lane for mine should have been dropped for this week. I think just to set the early example for the team to say, all right, you know what, boys, this sort of performance isn't tolerated for us. We want to win the comp. We're in the winning the premiership window, as a lot of people talk about. We're probably getting towards the final bit of that window, and before we need to really get a few more signings in and rebuff the quality. But his performance wasn't good enough for mine last weekend. I really like Shaun Lane. I have him as my unforgotten man in the post that we were doing earlier in the build-up to the season. I'm a fan of Shaun Lane and what he can do. It's just to shake up to what you need to send a message to the team as for Brad Arthur and go, this isn't what we're about at Parramatta anymore. You can't do one half of decent footy and the other half is horrible. We need you to be doing 80-minute performances. For mine, it would have been a dropping. I would have been putting Papali'i starting or Niokora, either one, and go from that way. And we've still got Hipgrave, who didn't play many minutes on the weekend, and I'm sure he can do a job as well. Now, how to beat the Storm? That's the big question, and I know a lot of fans are going on, and it's the Storm round 2. They were very clinical in their first half performance. Second half for mine was a little bit questionable for the Storm. I don't know if they're just trying to hold on to a win and prepare to play us the week after. But for mine, that's where we look at and we go, you know what, we need to really come out of the gates here. We need to be putting players on that are going to do the job. We need to match them that first 20 to 30 minutes. Respect the ball, get through the sets, kick early. I'd be kicking early to trap these boys in their 10, 20 metre line for the first couple of tackles. If we can do that, we can really go somewhere with this game. If we match the first 20 minutes, we can really go ahead for mine in that next window of the 30 to 60 minute blocks. So we've got about a 30-minute block there where our bench players are coming on. For mine, our bench is superior. I've looked at both teams. I think the Storm lack off the bench. I think that's where we can really take off and get somewhere in this game. If we can stay with them, either be ahead, even, or behind by about 6 points, we can really go off in this stage of the game and build a lead that we can hold on to and control the game afterwards. And really, really wanting a more structured kicking game from Moses and Dill Brown. As I said, I like the kick to the corners. I don't like the high ball stuff. Kick it to the corners early, trap him down there, have a defensive wall, and make sure that they're getting on their 20, 30 metre line after 2-3 tackles. So there is some positives. I do believe we have a good chance against the Storm if we can do those basic things right. It's wet weather footy, no doubt, will be tomorrow night with a lot of rain up and down the east coast. We need to do these simple things, basic, 100%. You need to do the simple things and get them right. You get them right and you'll go very close to winning these early games, and no matter what the opposition. And this is our game to really make a statement and to show that we are going to be probably one of the benchmark teams of 2021 and a top 4 team as well. So that's mine. Please drop a comment on below regarding either last week's game, this week's, and what I've talked about in the video. I hope you enjoy it. I do it weekly. It's on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, this channel, and I'm happy to have some guests on as well. So if you're a Para fan, you want to jump on for the upcoming week's episode of this, please give me a comment as well, and happy to have you on. So thanks, guys. Go the mighty blue and gold, and hopefully we get a win out Thursday night. Thank you.